Vaidya Abhijit Seraf. I am residing in Nasik, Maharashtra state. I had completed my education in Pune, BMS, MD, Sanhita, and PhD Sanhita. And I am gold medalist in PhD. Right now, I am working as a professor in Sanhita Siddhanta department in Nasik Ayurveda College, and I am practicing Ayurveda in Nasik city and Mumbai since 17 years. I am doing Sanhita Nirupan all over India, specially dedicated to the classical orientation of clinical practice. Thank you. So now I will speak about my subject. The session which I'm taking part into this seminar is education, revisiting education. So what is the Ayurvedic education? There are three major steps which we can see in the evolution of these things. Means ancient education, which is described in Charak Samhita Vimansthan chapter 8 and Sushrut Samhita Sutrasthan chapter 4 and 5. In ancient period, the Ayurveda or other classical sciences were used to teach and try to incorporate it as a Gurukul education system. And I think this was the best education system so far, because the Guru, which has the utmost qualities of that science, will teach the students, and the students also will learn from that Guru dedicatedly. The next step was in medieval education, where some kind of mixtures we can see in this kind of education. There are a lot of books are now available, that is education in India in 19th century, etc. And third stage is now contemporary education, which is right now we are undergoing. And since 1970, the curriculum is formed for Ayurvedic education. While reforming that curriculum, the curriculum is tried to exactly copy of the MBBS curriculum. And there is lies many problems which we are facing nowadays. Means if at that time the curriculum was formed according to Ayurvedic concepts, then it was a great achievement, but it was not happened. And the curriculum was totally copied from allopathic education system. Like in first year they have anatomy, so we have created a new subject, Shari Rachana. In first year allopathy has have physiology, so we created Sharira Kriya. In second year they have hygiene, so we created Swastha Vrutta. Likewise, medicine and Kai Chikitsa, pediatrics and Bal Rog, gynecology and Stri Rog. But what happened then? The integrated approach started in education system. And right now, when I am also a teacher in Ayurvedic college, what I am seeing is now Ayurvedic part is very less, and allopathic part is more in the quantity. So our upcoming students are they are not exactly well versed in Ayurveda, because they are not learning it. Basic problem is there. So according to myself, what we can do in this kind of things, as I was a member of a syllabus committee of NCSM first year in 2020 and 21. We try to incorporate many positive changes, but we cannot able to do that because of so many reasons I will not share here. But according to me, our first year and second year of BMS curriculum should be a introductory and with some practical manners. And third year should be a clinical exposure. And what kind of clinical exposure? That they should not be well versed only the drug oriented Ayurveda. So our students can able to pick up the hetus of that disease condition. Then they can assess the dosha predominance of that patient, then avastha of that patient, and he can able to do ashtavida pariksha, dashavida pariksha at his own, and then the selection of the drug according to hetu and dosha. This is called as a clinical exposure, not a modern condition and an Ayurvedic drug. What happening nowadays in PG, post-graduation syllabus also, and the thesis or dissertations are going on, they choose a modern condition and an Ayurvedic drug, like Triphala Gugul in hyperlipidemia. I have seen 3 dissertation of the same subject, Triphala Gugul in hyperlipidemia, Bhunimbadi Kwathin acidity, likewise Chandraprabhavati in type 2 diabetes mellitus. So this is not the Ayurvedic research, according to me. Maybe I am wrong, but what is the clinical exposure? And our students should be well versed, and they have the confidence for the practice. But we see that there is lack in the confidence also, because our student is learning allopathic science in BMS curriculum more. The focus is more on allopathic science. So what we have to do, that we should avoid the comparison of Ayurveda and allopathy, and also we have to avoid correlation of allopathy and Ayurveda. We have to learn both sciences because this is a need of this time. We have to read allopathy, we have to understand allopathy also, but keep it as it is. Don't try to correlate with Ayurveda. The correlation is taking place right now in level of the terminology, in the level of the sampraptis, and in the level of medicine also. Like in terminologies, rasa means plasma, rakta means blood, med means flat, shukra means semen, majja means bone marrow. Likewise, they are teaching like this, but this is not. It is, if you go through the classical text, this is totally wrong. In the level of samprapti also, Pandu means anemia, Visarpa means herpes zoster, Kushtha means leprosy, Jwara means fever, Rakta Pitta means epistaxis. No. This is not the correct understanding of this diseases, because Visarpa is a broad concept. So many diseases can be included in Visarpa. In COVID pandemic, when we treated the patient, I have treated the patient as per the Visarpa Samprapti, and I use the kalpas and kvathas which are described in the Visarpa Samprapti, and I get so many tremendous results. But we have like blindfolded, and Visarpa means herpes zoster and try. Prameha means diabetes. No, not at all. Diabetes is a different disease, and Prameha is a different disease. We should not correlate them. You teach teach the students diabetes also, and also Prameha also. So don't correlate. Now there is more focus on. We should give the more focus on Ayurvedic concepts rather than allopathic concepts and other sciences. Like our student is learning naturopathy also. Our student is learning yoga shastra also. Our student is learning rasa shastra also. But they are not well versed in Ayurvedic Nidan and Ayurvedic Chikitsa Paddhati. It is very sad thing, according to me, as a teacher and a practitioner of Ayurveda. So our in ancient text of Vagbada, Ashtang Hrudayam, he has mentioned a sutra in first chapter, Ayurvedopadesheshu Videya Paramadara. What is Paramadar? The commentator Arun Datta and Hemadri both has commented on this sutra same as a same pattern. They said that Videya Paramadaraha means Patha, Avabodha, and Anushtana. So I think this is the best steps for our Ayurvedic education, that we first is Patha, means we have to study it first. thoroughly study it. Then avabodha means understand what they want to say. Granthakartuhu abhiprayaha, the abhipraya of Granthakartu, what Granthakarta want to say, what is more important than what I want to say. I am no one, or any teacher is no one. He is just a madhyama of conducting the things to the next generation. And anushtans mean what he had studied and what he is understand. He should use in his clinical practice. If one person is well versed or he has recited all the sutras, he understands everything, but is not treating a patient, it is not useful. So we have to treat patient. We are all practitioners. We choose academic field is for vyavhar only. First of all, we are practitioners. We are vaidyas. So we should behave like a vaidya. So now this is also a major problem nowadays in education, that how to behave as a vaidya in society. It is not a subject of teaching. So we should teach that. Now we have received so many reforms for the education or the curriculum, but there is always some kind of things that is history of Ayurveda should be included in curriculum. According to me, yes, it is very important. If you see the contemporary curriculum, the history is so reduced to only 25 marks. But when I was studying I had admitted in Ayurveda in 1999. Admission is in Ayurveda. So at that time in our curriculum, a separate paper for Ayurveda Itihas was there of 100 marks. And it was very interesting. And though it is a little bit bore for some people, but according to me, it was very interesting. And it helps me for my further studies. Why history is important? Because if a person is not aware of his history or his science history or his country's history, then he will perform the same mistakes which are happening in the history, in the past. So to avoid the mistakes and to know the glory of our science, we have to study our history thoroughly. But the pattern of teaching the history should be changed. It is not a classroom teaching. It is not a classroom teaching. Just a minute. So it should not be a classroom teaching. Like we are organizing some kind of yatras of Ayurvedic students and teachers to different parts of India, where Ayurvedic some kind of things are happen. Like there is a village name is Asana, which is in Haryana, where Chavanprash was made at first time. Then there is a village Mayureshwar, which is in West Bengal, where Chakrapani was residing and his home is there. Also, the next next village is Charek. Village name is Charek, which is in Uttarakhand, where Charak Ashrama of Charak Rishi was there. Dhanej is there, which is in Gujarat, where Kashiraj Devodas took his last breath. And next is a Jejo, which is in Punjab, near Hoshiarpur, where the commentator Jejjat was residing. So if we teach the students, like now also, now in is this period also, the places are here. Places are all over India. And here some Ayurvedic concept, Ayurvedic incidence is there. So the trust will more, and it will be an interesting kind of thing. Like there is a Sri Ram corridor was now is going on. Likewise, we can organize the Ayurvedic yatras or Ayurveda corridor also. So history is very important according to me. Next, is Moulik Siddhanta is relevant nowadays? I think this question is irrelevant, because what is Maulik? Maulik means basic and important. Now, not the unique, which is basic of that science. Every science has its basic principles. Every science. Ayurveda also has the basic principles. So how can we forget that principles? Like what is principle? There is a definition of Siddhanta. Siddhanta Nama Parikshakai Bahuvidam Pariksha Hetuvishya Sadhayitva Sthapyate Nirnaya. It is not one person should be establish a Siddhanta. Parikshakai, many researchers should work on that. Bahuvidam Pariksham, different kinds of tests or parikshas will be there. And Hetu Vishya Sadhetva. Hetu bhi means Praman. It should be proved with evidence. It should not be irrelevant. So what is proved with the evidence, that is called as science, Siddhanta. Which is proved with evidence is called as a Siddhanta. So Siddhanta, which is already proved with evidences, how it can be relevant nowadays also. Like Panchabhautik Siddhanta is there. How they established that Siddhanta is very important. How they came to that theory that there are 5 basic elements in this universe. There must be some method. There must be some thought process. They must be have performed some kind of test or some kind of parikshanas, and then they give the result that there are 5 elements, Pancha Mahabhutas, for the evolution of this universe. But right now also, the qualities which has described of Pancha Mahabhutas are the same. Jala is Shita, Agni is Ushna, Akash is Vibhu, Vayu is Anushna Shita, Chala, Prithvi is Sthira, Guru. Now also this is not, they will not change because they already have proved with evidences at that time. We just lost our treasures or the methods for that evidences. We have just results. Next, Samanya Vishaya Siddhanta is there. So today also, if a person is drinking more water, the Visheshan is in Pitta Dosha is seen. Because Drava Guna in Prakruta Avastha, Drava Guna is only for Pitta Dosha.
Sir, something is wrong.
What?
I can't see you. You've gone missing completely.
No, sir, I'm here.
Okay. So sorry, because you're from, okay.
Now it is okay. So I will start again this topic. So Samanya Vishaya Siddhanta is there. So we can see right now also, if a patient is having Divasva, means he's sleeping in the day, it's Shleshma and Pitta Visheshan, we can see it in his Samprapti. If a patient is not doing any kind of Vyayama, so his Meda is vitiated, it is very common because Shaithilya is there. So Siddhantas will not be irrelevant at any time. They are relevant. They are relevant, and they are very important for understanding of Ayurvedic concepts, because only drugs, only kalpas are not Ayurveda. Ayurveda is, we always say that Ayurveda is life. What is life science? How they come to know that Shleshma is Guru, Shleshma is Nigdha? There must be some method, no? We have lost that method, or we lost that thought process behind that. But we have results, so we should trust them. And there are so many classical references that every time our Tantra Karta says that if I am writing this, but this is based on Pramanas. In Vatakalakali Adhyay, Sutra number 8, this says that we are describing the karma of Vayu, but they are, how we are describing it, they are based and they are proven on Pratyaksha Anumana Upadeshaihi Sadhaitva. In the chapter Annapan Vidyadhyay, they are described so many vargas of the ahara and other things. How they are describing? They says that Charak himself says that the ahara varga we are describing are based on Pratyaksha Phalam. We have seen that this we have given the drugs or Shalidhanya, Shukadhanya in so many people, and then we have surveyed it, we have quoted these things, and then we are writing it. The Shastra is not evolved like this only dhyana bastitaha. No, they are the science is pratyaksha dharit. They are well proved with evidence. Evidence-based science is Ayurveda, but their method should be different, not like that modern science. So we should avoid the correlation and we should avoid the comparison of modern science and Ayurveda. Keep them at their own places. Next is the darshanas. Darshan shastras are also relevant in this kind of period. Yes, it's totally relevant because Ayurvedic principles are based on the darshanic principles. Like if we take a consideration of Samkhya. So Samkhya, they have, I just took two examples of Samkhya. There one principle is Satkaryavad. Satkaryavad means if a karya is happening, there must be karan somewhere. So in Ayurveda also, if a disease state is there, the patient had also should he has performed some kind of hetus. If there is no hetu, then disease state will not be happening. He will be swastha. But if he is taking hetu, then he will be in disease state. So there is Satkaryavad is a clinical concept, and it should be teach like clinically for the first year also, and in PG students also. Next is Prakriti Purush Siddhanta, which is described by Sankhya, is totally copied by Sushrut, and he just transforms some kind of concept into the Shari Rachana manner, and it is totally clinical. If we go through the Charak Shari Sthan first 4 chapters, they are all genetics, nothing else. If we see that chapters in the view of genetics, you will be amazed. Just such a great things they are described. Also, same Padarthavijnanam is relevant or not? Yes. If a person says that is biochemistry is relevant for allopathic science, such a foolish question is there. So Padarthavijnanam is a basic. We just created a subject to understand these topics for contemporary curriculum. But if a person is not aware of Mahabhut, of the Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesh, Samavay, of Padartha, Pramanas, then how he can learn the next chapters? Ayurveda is not a clinic, only a drug oriented. If we lose the Sahitas, if we lose hand of Sahitas, then the Ayurveda will be diminished. The only drug means give a disease state and give a drug, that's finished, and try to prove it from the modern science. No, this will not lead you at no, you will lose it. It is totally loss of waste of time, loss of time, just mere you're performing some kind of things. So Ayurveda should be learned according to Ayurvedic methods. Ayurveda should be learned and proved according to Ayurvedic methods, and research of Ayurveda should be done according to Ayurvedic methods. There are methods. We just don't try to understand it and don't try to study it. We think that Tantra Yukti is only a part of Sanhita people. No, it is a clinical subject. It should be clinically proven. It should be read clinically, and then only we will able to understand it for the research and clinical practices. So everything described in Sanhitas are clinical. Dinacharya is a clinical. Rutucharya is also clinical. Concept of Atma, concept of Mana, concept of Panchamabhuta are clinically described. If we go through the Sanhitas, each and every subject is described in clinical for clinical practice and clinical orientation. Nothing is non-clinical in Ayurveda. Nothing. So we have to teach students Ayurveda clinically. In first year, it should be an introductory, and then with patients, we have to teach. If I will prefer to teach a Charak Sanhita in the hospital, bedside. So see, Charak has described these lakshanas. So see these lakshanas. The chikitsa is given according to Charak. This is the chikitsa which a doctor is given. Try. understand it, how it is working, and then assess it. This should be a manner of teaching. But our contemporary curriculum would not allow to do that, because Sanhita is a non-clinical subject according to contemporary curriculum. Okay, no problem. Someday will be some cycle is there always in the nature. Although I am very I have a positive attitude about the upcoming generation. So Ayurvedic education is a great thing to work on, and also uh, a, it has a great capacity to perform so many researches also. And research should not be only drug oriented. There are so many things to do, like there are so many commentaries which are untouched, so many manuscripts are there which are untouched. There are I think 1.5 million manuscripts which are there in the libraries, but they are untouched till date. We have to work on that. And who will work? European people will come to do this work? No, we have to work. Next, there are so many concepts which has to understand first, like what are the criteria of Agni? Who will work on that? There are so many theses or dissertation that Agni, this drug is for Agni Mandya, or this drug is for Agni Vruddhi. But what is the concept of Agni Mandya? How we can assess the Agni Vruddhi? How we can assess the levels of Agni Mandya? Granthakar has described it in Charak Samhita Vimanstan chapter 6, sutra number 12. But who will work on that? If the Samhita person will start working, they say this is not your field. If a Kai Chikitsa was nowadays Kai Chikitsa department is totally allopathy oriented. They are not working on Ayurvedic concept. I'm sad to say that, and it's very hard for me to understand this. But my heart always cried because of these things when I see that. But I am no one to do anything. I'm a very little person for that to say bad thing right now. So we have to teach our next generation what we have to do. And there are so many research areas which are untouched and which have a tremendous capacity to study and to understand. So we will discuss it in some time also. And lastly, I want to say about a great physician and a great Ayurvedic practitioner also, and Ayurvedic, I think, philosopher also, Dr. Krishna Kumarji, Padma Shri Dr. Krishna Kumarji. I had got chance to meet him twice. First in 2008, there's a international grand Ayurvedics program was organized in Coimbatore, and I was one of the I was doing MD that time, and my guide Dr. SP Saradeshmukh sir, and we all students were to take part in that seminar, and I have presented a poster on Agni Parikshana. And at that time, our Saradeshmukh sir has organized a meeting with Krishna Kumarji, and he gave a short lecture for 5 to 10 minutes. But the vision he has given is still guiding me. Next, I think when Dr. Krishna Kumarji visited Pune, and Dr. Prashant Suru, one of my gurus, and our where I was studying, he was a trustee at that place. He organized a lecture of Dr. Krishna Kumarji in Pune, and so many students were there. And Dr. Krishna Kumarji shares so many things, so many his dreams for Ayurveda, for Ayurvedic concept, like Gurukul system, like some kind of herbal medicines, how we prevent the loss of herbals, and we have to preserve them, how to cultivate them, and in the clinical practice, how we use different kalpas, how he select the kalpas. Likewise, and that was the eye opener lecture for us. And last I saw him in online meeting with our respected Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and he was the only person who said that give me 5 patients of COVID and I will treat them only according to Ayurvedic concepts. Just 5. He asked only 5. Like in Mahabharata, Krishna has asked to the Kauravas that please only give us 5 villages only. We will be happy in that 5 villages also. But Kaurav they are not agree with that thing, and then the Mahabharata happened. Like our Krishna Kumarji asked only 5 patients, but I don't think is there some kind of uh, uh, treatment was there or government was allowed for him to do that. But that confidence which Krishna Kumarji has shown in that meeting, I am thankful to him, and I am thankful to him for the great institute he has created in the Coimbatore, and it will guide us for the generations, and his vision will guide us also. Thank you very much. If there is a kind of harsh thing which I had said, I'm sorry for that, and which is wrong. If I said anything wrong, also please forgive me for that. Thank you very much. Brahma Dakshashvi Devesha Bharadvaja Punarvasu Hutasha Vishacharaka Prabhutibhyo Namo Namaha. Dhanyavadaha.